My name is Selena. I am 25 years old. I live in Boston. I work as a front desk assistant at a large company downtown. My boss is a man named Victor Hale. He is 36 years old, successful, respected, and known for being calm and professional. I had known Victor for many years because our families once lived in the same neighborhood. 3 years ago, when I desperately needed work, Victor offered me a job at his company. I was thankful because the salary helped me support myself and save money for my future. At that time, my entire world revolved around my fiancé, Mason. We met in college and stayed together through every struggle. Our wedding was only 2 months away, and I worked extra hours every week to afford the ceremony we dreamed about. Victor was married to a woman named Lorraine. She was elegant and quiet. People often whispered that Lorraine could never have children, but Victor always acted like their marriage was strong and happy. Then one month, everything began changing. Victor stopped smiling at work. He looked exhausted all the time. Some mornings, his eyes were red as if he had spent the entire night awake. He locked himself inside his office for hours and barely spoke to anyone. I felt worried, but I stayed quiet. He was still my boss. One Friday evening, I stayed late to finish reports because I needed overtime money. By 9 p.m., the entire office building was empty except for me. Just as I packed my bag to leave, my phone rang. It was Victor. "Can you come to my office for a moment?" he asked quietly. "I need to speak with you." Something in his voice sounded strange. I walked nervously toward his office. When I opened the door, I froze. Victor was sitting on the floor beside his desk. His tie was loose, and his eyes looked swollen from crying. I had never seen him like that before. "Victor, are you okay?" I asked softly. Suddenly, he stood up too quickly and grabbed my hands. I smelled alcohol immediately. He looked completely broken. "You're the only person who can help me," he whispered. I stepped back in confusion. Victor explained that his family business was controlled by old traditions. His father expected him to continue the family bloodline. Without a child, the company inheritance would eventually go to his brother's children instead. He said Lorraine could never become pregnant. Then he looked directly into my eyes and said something that shocked me completely. "I want you to carry my child." My body went cold. At first, I thought he was joking because of the alcohol. But he continued speaking seriously. He promised money, a new house, security, and a future without financial problems. He said after the birth, the baby would belong to him and Lorraine. I would simply continue my life afterward. I could not believe what I was hearing. I quickly left the office and drove home shaking. That entire night, I could not sleep. The offer felt wrong, but it also felt tempting. Mason and I had struggled financially for years. We wanted a better life, a beautiful wedding, maybe even our own home someday. The next morning, I told Mason everything. He became furious immediately. "You're seriously thinking about this?" he shouted. "You would carry another man's child?" I tried explaining the benefits. I said it would secure our future forever. But Mason called the idea humiliating and dangerous. We argued for hours. Finally, after a long, painful conversation, Mason became quiet. He looked exhausted. "If this is really what you want," he said coldly, "then do it." The following Monday, I gave Victor my answer. I agreed. Within weeks, the medical process was completed. Soon, I became pregnant. Victor moved me into a beautiful house near the city. He hired a nurse and made sure I had healthy food, comfortable furniture, and regular doctor appointments. At work, people quickly noticed the special treatment. Whispers spread through the office. Some employees believed I was secretly having an affair with Victor. Others said I was using him for money. The rumors hurt me deeply, but I stayed silent. Victor visited often. He brought flowers, vitamins, books, and baby clothes. Sometimes he sat quietly beside me and talked about becoming a father. Whenever he touched my stomach gently, I felt uncomfortable and emotional at the same time. Meanwhile, Mason slowly changed. He stopped smiling around me. Every time Victor visited the house, Mason became distant and angry. One evening, I found Mason sitting alone outside. "I feel like I already lost you," he admitted quietly. I tried to reassure him, but deep inside, I knew this situation was destroying us. By the 7th month of pregnancy, our relationship was barely surviving. Then one night, everything collapsed. Mason looked at me with tired eyes and said, "I can't do this anymore, Selena." My heart dropped instantly. He said watching another man care for me and prepare for the baby was unbearable. He felt useless and replaced. Then he picked up his bag and walked out. I begged him not to leave, but he never turned around. The stress hit me immediately. Sharp pain spread through my stomach. I collapsed onto the floor screaming. At that exact moment, Victor had arrived for a visit. He rushed inside, lifted me into his arms, and drove me to the hospital faster than I thought possible. Doctors quickly surrounded me. I was going into early labor. Everything happened so fast. The doctors prepared emergency surgery, while Victor stayed beside me the entire time holding my hand tightly. 5 long hours later, a baby boy was born. Victor cried the moment he saw his son. I had never seen a man so emotional before. He hugged me carefully and whispered, "You gave me the greatest gift of my life." Later that night, Lorraine arrived at the hospital. Tears filled her eyes when she held the baby. She thanked me again and again. But while everyone around me celebrated, I felt strangely empty inside. After the baby left the room with Victor and Lorraine, silence filled my hospital room. Mason was gone. The baby was gone. And suddenly, I felt completely alone. A week later, I returned to the beautiful house Victor had provided, but it no longer felt warm. The rooms felt cold and quiet. One rainy evening, someone knocked on my door. When I opened it, I froze. It was Mason. His eyes looked tired and red from crying. For several seconds, neither of us spoke. Then he finally whispered, "Life without you feels empty." Tears filled my eyes instantly. Mason admitted he had been angry and scared. He said he hated the situation, but leaving me was the biggest mistake of his life. "I still love you," he said softly, "and I don't want to lose you forever." I could not stop crying anymore. I stepped forward and hugged him tightly. For the first time in months, I felt warmth again. Life does not always go the way we plan. Sometimes love becomes messy and painful. Sometimes difficult choices leave permanent scars. But even after heartbreak, people can still find their way back to each other.
Thanks for watching and supporting my video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more amazing stories. See you in the next video.